Watching movies and dying inside. Watching movies and dying inside.
Hi there, gang. Welcome back to Watching Movies and Dying Inside. Today we're going to be looking at 1993's Mandroid, directed by Jack Ersgard. Now, I'll admit I know nothing about this movie. I just decided to watch it based on the interesting title and poster. But if you're anything like me, you're probably wondering, what's a Mandroid? I don't know. What's a Mandroid with you? Anyway, I guess we're going to get to it and hope for the best.
Watching movies and dying inside.
I wonder if they're going to use the term Mandroid in the movie. I might be a little disappointed if they don't. It seems like the kind of movie where they're going to use it. I hope they use it. Is that the Mandroid? Oh, wow, okay. I wasn't expecting to see the Mandroid right away. But I guess when your movie's like 80 minutes, you gotta get right to it.
Thank you for that. Come back to the lab. Let's celebrate a good taste.
To Mandroid.
Did they say Mandroid?
We should be concerned with helping the world. Nothing else.
And my Mandroid?
I...
Mandroid is my creation.
Oh, Mandroid. Okay, they are saying Mandroid. Okay. That's really all I wanted from this movie.
I want to know when you're handing Ee-Vahn Drago over to the security police.
I'm not.
Ee-Vahn Drago.
That's between us. Ee-Vahn is going to be here for the demonstration. Half the work is here.
I wonder how that's spelled. Huh. That's... Yeah. Okay.
What we cannot do, the Mandroid unit can. He is the ultimate tool.
There's a lot more backstory than I was expecting from a movie called Mandroid. Which is to say, I was expecting it to be, I don't know, kind of like a RoboCop ripoff or something. It's actually like a whole scientific story behind the Mandroid, which is kind of fun. They kind of rush through a lot of backstory at the beginning, but why exactly does Ee-Vahn Drago want the Mandroid? I'm confused on that. Like, what's he doing here? Like, trying to steal it back or something? I mean, I guess it probably doesn't matter too much, but
You were such a bore when you were little, and you have not changed at all.
Isn't that gas supposed to be like deadly or something? I guess it's fine because she's not running away, but poor Ee-Vahn Drago got a face full of it. I liked his little jump into the water. If he got a face full of that gas stuff, shouldn't he be dead? It looked like it just, like, you know, messed up his skin real good. But I thought they said it was, like, lethal, and that's why they had the Mandroid. I'm a little disappointed because we're almost halfway through, and the only things I've seen the Mandroid do have been, like, drive a car poorly and carry a canister into another room. I was kind of hoping we'd get some, like, you know, crazy Mandroid action. Kicking guys out of windows and into stacks of boxes, you know? Like real action movie stuff. Yeah, this movie's kind of silly. What is even going on with him? It seemed like he was fading out of existence. For an 80-minute movie about a high-tech, super strong robot called the Mandroid and a mad scientist who was disfigured in a horrible accident, this movie is really slow. Oh, God.
Daniel Smith, we had a deal.
Oh, jeez. How is he alive? It looked like he got shot in the heart. I mean, where I come from, getting shot in the heart, you don't come back from that too easily. I guess the rule in this movie is that if you have a name and lines of dialogue, you can survive being shot for a little while anyway. This movie's pretty bad. Yeah, you know what? I'm dying inside. This movie's been kind of fun and strange and silly, but it's just so boring. It shouldn't have been difficult to make this movie interesting because it has all the right ingredients. It seemed like they kind of knew what they were doing. I mean, you don't call a character Ee-Vahn Drago accidentally. Yeah, this movie's rough. At least it's short. The adventure continues in Invisible, the Chronicles of Benjamin Knight. Sure. Okay, so that was Mandroid. It was a robot. Mandroid was a robot. It was a robot controlled by people remotely through like a VR helmet. It wasn't a man-android or, Mandroid. At least they called it Mandroid a lot, so, it's kind of worried they wouldn't. It was 80 minutes. Not even 80 minutes. And it just felt so slow. Yeah, I guess this is an impromptu double feature because I'm going to go right into Invisible, the Chronicles of Benjamin Knight. Kind of makes you wonder if it was supposed to be just one really big film, but more likely they just filmed these back to back. I don't know. I guess I'm going to see how this fits in with Mandroid. Let's get to its sequel, Invisible, the Chronicles of Benjamin Knight. Mandroid! I hope there's a reason why they didn't just call this Mandroid 2. Because that's kind of weird. Like to put out a sequel in the same year and give it a completely different title. Especially one less succinct and, catchy as Mandroid. Oh, Jack Ersgard. Yeah, he directed Mandroid. And directed this as well. I don't think I mentioned that, but yeah, same director. Is that...
Please, don't hurt me.
It's Ee-Vahn Drago.
Well, looks like somebody's been stockpiling young women, huh? Ooh la la.
Think that's funny?
Take it easy, right?
Kind of cool they got David Kaufman to play the lab assistant. Done a lot of voiceover work. Back to the Future, Superman, probably best known as Danny Phantom. So yeah, so that's kind of neat. And there's Alan Oppenheimer. Another very prolific voiceover actor. Does on-screen stuff, but, has some iconic, animated characters under his belt, like Skeletor from He-Man. So, this movie's been on for over half an hour, and I still have no idea why this is called Invisible, the Chronicles of Benjamin Knight, because he was absent for a significant part of the runtime so far, and this is pretty much just a sequel to Mandroid. This is Mandroid 2. By the way, they haven't used the name Ee-Vahn Drago yet. I wonder if someone pointed out that it was a little silly. Whoa. I mean, if movies have taught me anything, it's that back in like the 80s and 90s, cars were extremely flammable and exploded incredibly easily. So,
Colonel, how long do you intend to keep us here?
You are free to go at any time.
We can get a head start toward the truck.
that chair was probably heavier than it looked. Okay, so they just killed the cop. Though, I feel like the guy probably could have survived that crash if the car hadn't exploded. But, we went over this. There's a bunch of plots in this movie that are kind of interesting. The whole idea that the police are after them for the invisibility serum that the doctor from the hospital knows they have. And there's the whole thing about Ee-Vahn Drago still trying to get, the crystals and Mandroid, but it's just not coming together very well.
Confident, stupid idiots!
I hope it kind of comes together for a satisfying conclusion, unless there is, like, another sequel. I kind of hope they stopped at 2. But there's only 25 minutes left in the movie, so who knows. Also, I thought Ben's whole thing was that he was stuck invisible because the serum wasn't working, but they perfected the serum pretty well. It seems like he's able to change invisible and visible at will now. Okay, that was cheesy and graphically violent.
Get on with it.
What?
Doctor?
Ben?
Okay, finally something interesting is happening. Like, the Invisible Man is finally doing stuff, Mandroid is finally doing stuff. Yeah, this movie was getting really boring, and I was really close to dying inside. And then something started happening. Thank goodness. His face looks better than the first one.
Do you like this, Uncle Ivan?
No, she actually called him Ivan. Okay, so I guess in the second movie, he's just Ivan Drago. You know, cut right to the chase. Oh my god! How many women did he have locked up? A lot of their clothing looks like it was torn off. Yeah, that's really dark. I mean, this movie is already a little dark, but that's really dark.
Okay, enemies of the state. Let's go. The border's half an hour away.
We haven't decided where we're going yet.
Hey, Mandroid. Mandroid's driving. So that was Invisible, the Chronicles of Benjamin Knight. I have no idea why they gave it that title. This is Mandroid 2. I mean, arguably, Mandroid wasn't the main character in the first film. But the idea of a Mandroid was, you know, the most interesting idea. It really dragged, though. Pretty much up until, like, the last act where things started happening, like Mandroid, you know, sort of like beating guys up, and Benjamin Knight was actually making use of his invisibility powers in interesting ways. I don't know if I'd recommend either of these. They were kind of cheesy and bad, but not in, like, the best kind of way. I think of the two I preferred this, but I doubt it would make any sense if you didn't watch Mandroid. But yeah, that was Invisible, the Chronicles of Benjamin Knight. A terrible, terrible name for the sequel to Mandroid.